Hi, it's Sandy here from the Rosie Temple in Hampshire, UK, and I'm here to do the full moon rose reading for March the 12th, 2017. And it's just been an extraordinary day today at the Rosie Temple. We've had the second day of a weekend retreat where we've been weaving the magic of the roses and the crystals, the crystal kingdom. And I've had a lovely crystal master working with me this weekend, weaving these two energies together. BB from Polperro in Cornwall. And we've just had an extraordinary journey of working through the 13 chakras, ending with the higher heart chakra, weaving the rose, the whispered messages of the roses and the whispered messages of the crystals. Just a beautiful, beautiful experience, and a very full-on day today as we moved into the higher chakras and into the causal chakra, the soul star, and the stellar gateway. So really taking us into the depth of the soul contract, you know, why we chose to incarnate and be here at this time, and to be working with these energies. So it's just been extraordinary, an extraordinary weekend. And you know, in this time that we're in, and the intensity that we're all experiencing in different ways, you know, each one of us has got a different aspect that shows up in our astrology that gets triggered as we as the planets move around our charts, our natal charts, triggering and activating different aspects of our own journeys, so that we can come more and more into this place of love and release anything that is no longer aligned to the pathway that we're seeking going forward. So these are really such powerful times to navigate and to be able to harness the gifts out of the experiences and the connections that we have as we're moving forward through this time. And of course, we not only have we got the full moon, but we also are in a Venus retrograde period until the middle of April, and that is so guiding us back within ourselves to review and to once more look at connections that we have with others, and of course our connection with ourselves. Oh, I'm saying hi to Babita and hi to Vicky. I can see that you're both on the call. And I think Babita's saying, you know, the moon is just so much the power of this time, and you know, it's just extraordinary. So yeah, we have had a stunning few days. This is the residue of the roses, beautiful roses that graced the different crystal grids, yeah, extraordinary journey. So we have to look and see what the wisdom of the roses might offer us for this time. So are you drawn to rose card 1? Are you drawn to rose card 2? Or are you drawn to rose card 3? And of course, these rose energies, these rose codes, are codes of love, and their only interest is to guiding us ever deeper into the question with every choice point that we have in our lives, you know, of what would love do now? What would love have me say now? And this deeper journey into ourselves is the greatest journey that we can take. You know, more and more I've come to understand that this journey through our lifetimes is a journey to ourselves. It's a journey to come home to ourselves. And the more we embrace the journey, the more graceful the path. So if you chose Rose Card 1, here she is, and she is Rose Angel 4. Now, she's come up many times for us before, and she is the Rose Angel that calls us to forgiveness. And this feels to be the path many of us are taking at the moment, where we are in this Venus retrograde. We are being asked to review and revisit the journey that we've been on, and perhaps the relationships that we've had in that time. Are there still any wounds? Are there any places that we really need to shine the light of forgiveness on? And are there things that we have chosen that we need to embrace and forgive ourselves for? Forgiveness is the pathway that allows us to fully release and let go of this, of the old paradigm of approach, or allows us the release. It's the freedom that bringing our focus to forgiveness allows us. It allows the heart field to expand. It allows for there to be a shift in consciousness that allows for new to come forward. So you'll see that this rose is actually very open on the outside, and yet there's a complexity and a depth on the inside. And it would be very easy to look at this rose and say, well, she's not a traditional rose. She's not what one would normally see as beauty in a rose. But that actually calls us to look once more at what we might judge as being perfect. And this rose is a David Austin rose, and she's called the Pilgrim. And there is a pilgrimage that we go on in our journey to ourselves that takes us deep into what we look at and what we judge, what we deem as beautiful. Now, this rose, she calls us into this place of looking at what is the element of discernment in our path. What is the area in which we need to let go of anywhere where we judge, and come into this deepest place of the heart field, to come into this place of forgiveness. And forgiveness is one of the greatest gifts that we can offer ourselves or another, to be able to let go and to come into the deepest essence of that loving pathway. We never know what another's journey is, what another's soul path is. We can only bring our attention to our own journey and our own story. And here she goes. She calls us ever deeper into that reflection and that deeper path of forgiveness. Powerful rose to work with, and just beautiful. The Pilgrim, David Austin Rose. And if you were drawn to Rose Card 2, Rose Card 2 is Rose Ma 10. So she's one of the Rose Ma roses, one of the Mother of the Rose, and the qualities, the 11 qualities of the awakened and empowered heart field. And she says, I am compassion. And compassion comes when we allow another's journey to be as it is for them, and to have compassion for our own journey, our own story, and our particular path and part in recognizing that we all of our stories, all of our unfolding is part of the human condition. It's part of what is unfolding on a global scale. Each one of us have a different aspect of our human story that we are transforming through this alchemical pot of the heart, because this is the only place in the present moment and through the heart field that true transformation can occur. And the energy of compassion allows us to be in grace with those that we journey with. That, again, we never know what is the backstory, the true backstory behind someone's actions or their choices in the world. So, this is a powerful, powerful rose to work with, and actually is one of my favorites. She is one of the most beautiful, open, compassionate wisdom keepers in the whole of the Rose Oracle deck. She's delicate and just a beautiful, beautiful rose to work with. And she calls us deep into that heart field to have compassion for all sentient beings and to have compassion for all of those that suffer. Suffering is the pathway of transformation. Without suffering, nothing much changes. Nothing changes when in our world when we are bumbling along in, when everything's just tootling along very easily. It's only when we see the suffering in others who we care for, or experience suffering within ourselves, that there is an opening to change, and there is an opening to compassion, to just some of the difficult things that we can almost set up for ourselves in our journey in life. So here she is. She's Rose Martin. I am compassion. And if you chose Rose card 3, she is Rose Bagua 8. Now, I don't think Rose Bagua 8 has actually come up for us before in our readings. And this rose is the aspect of the Bagua that calls us into wisdom and knowledge, contemplation. And what she does through this spiral is she calls us deep within. This rose says, know thyself, and to thine own self be true. And when I'm working with the Bagua, I tend to work across on a diagonal. Now, the Bagua is a feng shui term for a box of 9 squares that each carry an aspect of our expression in the outer world. Now, for me, the center of that Bagua is what's known as the health and the Tai Chi. For me, that's the heart and the presence of our very being. And when we look at the other 8 squares that sit around this health Tai Chi, they take us through all of these different parts of our expression in the outer world. This particular area calls us to come deep in and spend time in reflection and contemplation, knowing that as we take that journey deep within ourselves, then that changes completely our relationship to ourselves and to everybody else that we come into contact with. And that may be, just our family and our friends. It can be, our personal, our primary relationship with a sacred other, a partner. When we come into that place where we know who we are and we know our values and our truths, that then colours the integrity and the alignment of the journey with the other. So I think it's an interesting combo of roses that we're being asked to review here. And I can see Sam on the call and Debbie. Hi. Hi, Sam. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Georgie. Thank you for joining me this evening. So, this time that we're in, this journey that we're in through this, this full moon and through this Venus retrograde period, which is calling us to come deep within and to review and to look again at the dynamics that we've got running and what we're being called to, what our hearts are calling us to as a pathway forward. And we have this running really until the middle of April, before we can sort of step forward. Venus is in the underworld. She is diving deep into her core, into her essence, to find her new truths coming forward. And here we go. Sorry. So here we have Rose Angel 4, which was Rose Card 1, who's calling us to forgiveness. To forgive those that have caused us pain, that have caused us suffering in our pathway, through our own journey to find ourselves. Some of the most difficult relationships we've had have been our greatest teachers. And to come to that place of appreciation and forgiveness for another's actions, because we don't know always the full story that is up behind someone's actions. When I've looked at my own journey with my father, his behaviours were some of the most challenging experiences that I had in my childhood, and that coloured the whole of my journey going forward. But I didn't see until after he'd passed what the imprint was that had been the trigger for him in the background as to why his behaviours were as they were. So finding forgiveness for another's journey, but also recognising what someone else's behaviour, what qualities we had to develop through our experiences of that person or that experience. So forgiveness. This Rose, and she's Rose Angel 4, she's calling us to really embrace that path of forgiveness in this upcoming time, because that's what gives us freedom. When we forgive, there is freedom. Rose 2, compassion. Compassion for ourselves and compassion for others. This opens the heart. This allows us to be agents for change, because we have compassion for another's path. We haven't had to walk in their shoes. Compassion is an amazing heart opener. And when we can be really present and really hold another, to be present to another's story and journey, allows for transformation. And Rose card 3, Rose Bagua 8. That real call to dive deep within, and I think that this is very much what this Venus retrograde is calling us to. Come deep within and know thyself, and to thine own self be true. You know, so many of the cards that were drawn today on this Rose Retreat were about speaking our truth, being able to come from that deep place within us of self-love, self-value, and self-esteem, so that we bring that energy up through the body, come into that solar plexus, and that real sense of trusting my gut feeling on this, and then bringing it up through the heart field and really having the courage to speak. And I'm just going to put my glasses on because I can't see on an iPhone 5. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for your thoughts. And welcome, Ashley. Lovely to see you. And Angelina, thank you. So, yeah, these are the 3 roses that are speaking to us at this time. Forgiveness, compassion, and really honouring who we are, diving deep within ourselves to know our values and what really matters for us in this next piece of our own unfolding journey. And the more we take time to know ourselves, the more graceful the pathway going forward. Beautiful, beautiful energies to deal with and work with. So I hope that's given you a little bit of insight and a little bit of extra guidance in this in these next couple of weeks that take us back into the new moon. And thank you for joining me. And yeah, it's the moon is powerful for us, and powerful for us this evening. And yeah, may the week hold many blessings for you. And from my heart to yours, with love and rosy blessings. Bye for now. Bye-bye.